We're going to get started on our grip or grips. This example is going to have fairly basic grips. So we're going to start with modeling up this left-hand side front half of the grip. We will end up mirroring this to the other side, but that won't be just yet. So we're just going to design up this front half, front left-hand side. So I'm going to start a sketch on that front plate. P to project, select the face, brings all these purple lines and dots in. Now, the dots are kind of handy as I'll use them as sort of reference lines. So the grip is going to come all the way up. I don't need it to extend too much further beyond this top edge here. So I'm going to use an L to line. I'm just going to draw one across here. And also, maybe use arc tool, 3-point arc, to join these two. So now I should have an extrudable element which I can create my grip on. So get a finished sketch, and we can now use the extrude tool. So extrude this face, we're going to go 10 millimeters. What this will give us is, I guess, a 20 plus the 3 mil acrylic face, 23 mil thickness to this grip. Again, when you design your own, you might choose to have something a bit thicker or a bit thinner. So we are going to create this as a new body again. This is going to be 3D printed. It's not going to be a part of our acrylic face. So new body, 10 millimeters, and okay. Now let's tidy this up. We'll put some fillets in here as well. One up here on these two edges, just to tidy them up. Let's see what 7 millimeters looks like. Oh, 7 would be nice. And we'll also put a fillet on here as well. Now keep in mind, this is only 15 millimeters wide. So the most I'll be able to put on would be 7.5 to get a perfect curve through there. Let's get 7.5. All right. So it might be worth at this point adding your colors if you have not already. So A brings up your appearance menu, and from here you can bring in all sorts of different colors and finishes. So I'm just going to use paint and glossy for mine, and I'm just going to drag black in for my body. I may regret that later when I try to work on it. And we'll go with a green on the acrylic parts, just so I can tell sort of what's what. And I might actually, if you double click on in this design, you can change that color. So I might make it a little bit more teal sort of finish, a bit more Aston Martin sort of green. And there we go. Close down it. Before we mirror, there's a few elements we need to add. Now, one is the other half of this grip, and then the other is some bolt holes to lock it into place. So we'll get started on the back half of this grip. Now, I could just mirror this design, this front grip, straight around to the back, because there's no reason why that won't work. What I want to do in this case is I want to make sure it joins into this side of the button box, just adds a little bit more structural integrity to the whole design, sort of makes it feel a little bit more intentional. So we'll create our sketch on the back plate. We'll hide that back plate. Sorry, the back of the face plate is where we created that sketch. Just going to turn off that face, and we can just hit P to project, that front grip. And what I'm also going to project in is this part of the button box. And in this case, what I want to do is I just want this to continue out straight instead of curving. So I'm just going to drag those two elements straight across. So I'm going to make sure that I will turn this into a construction line. So now my grip will have sort of a flat section along that back edge. And finish the sketch from here, and we can extrude. Go 10 millimeters again. It's going to be a new body, and we might as well paint it up with our black. Again, we'll put our fillets on. So in this case, the top one's already done for us, so we're just going to choose this one, 7.5. Enter. Now at the moment, that profile sort of just butts up against the side of the button box. What I wanted to do is sort of just project into it just a little bit. So we're going to rename these bodies. So we'll spin around. We're going to call this one left grip front, and we'll call this one back. So I'm just going to hide out their back plate and the button box at this stage, and we're going to sketch onto this face here. So create a sketch. I'm going to use the offset tool, and I'm going to offset this face inboards 2 millimeters should do it. I do want to just extend this down a bit, and we'll just turn this line here into a construction line. So we've got this profile here now. Sketch. Now we're going to extrude this through the button box first and make a hole through the button box for this to sort of project into. So we'll turn that back on. We'll go to extrude, and I can see it there, see the outline of the shape that I want to extrude, but there's a few things sort of happening in this space. So one neat trick is when you want to select this profile through something else, you can click and hold, and it will let you select a range of things from a list. So profile is the thing that I want to select, and we're just going to drag that all the way through and out the other side. Make sure it's cut. So we've cut a little notch right through the back of the wheel. We'll turn that sketch back on. So sketch 8 in this case. I'm going to turn off the button box body, and we can extrude that face inboards 3 millimeters. Now, when I've done that, it instantly wants to join. It wants to join my left grip back to the wheel face. I do want this element to be joined to the left grip back, but not to the wheel face. So I'm just going to turn the visibility of that off. So it will join it to this thing, but not to the faceplate. All right, now we can turn that sketch off. We've got that element. When I turn the button box back on, you can see it sort of keys in nicely into that part of the design. All right. Next video I'm going to do, we're going to add some bolt holes so that we can sort of lock the grips together through the acrylic face, and that will sort of all hold everything together.